You said shampoo. Oh, that might have been shampoo. So they all came and we put on a show for them. All of the stuff that we had done musically, dance-wise. We might have done some scene work too. Did like put on a play. Yeah. So that when we get out to the carnival, as you say, and that song was brought out to us, everything was done on the fly, and he did an amazing job with the cameras. And Pat Birch, who was our choreographer, choreographed stuff on the spot. Fascinating and miraculous.
Pat Birch was great with actors, that couldn't dance. She picked the character and kind of taught the dance around what they could do. That was pretty interesting too. Good combination, you and her.
Well, did you guys, for the people who couldn't dance in Grease Lightning, she came up with that thing like that, right? That was a way to get around the fact that some people couldn't dance, right? Made it look like they were dancing.
Handography, armography.
We know all about this.
And the word of mouth on Saturday Night Fever was like just all over the whole lot. Everybody was like, this is going to be sensational. And then Grease topped it.
Well, we had the first showing of Saturday Night Fever at our rap party.
That's right. And by speaking of the dancers, now the forgotten heroes, not so forgotten, are the 20 core dancers that they hired. So you had 10 guys and 10 gals. So they were dancer. And those are the ones that especially you see them in We Go Together when that whole group is coming towards the camera. They're doing a Charlie Chaplin move. So they were the backbone, the choreographic backbone, if you will.
And Lorenzo, how did Pat work with you?
It was methodical. She asked me if I've ever danced before, and I said I'd go to clubs, so I can move to disco music. And she goes, okay, never mind. No, she was very, very supportive. Everybody was, for me. And she figured out things that I could do. If you remember the dance scene in the auditorium where people are coming down 2 by 2, and Jody Goodman has me by the tie. She's dragging me down there, and it just was all very kind of semi-choreographed, and Randall kind of let the scene breathe, and yeah, I wasn't a dancer. I was surrounded by professional dancer stage actors.
And then the casting was so brilliant. Joan Blondell, she's the ultimate waitress. And Joan Blondell. And Sid Caesar. Who else?
Jody Goodman.
Jody Goodman.
And Eve Arden. Eve Arden was the best. She was in
that show, the Almus Brooks.
Miss Brooks. I watched that as a kid.
Alice Brooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fanny Flagg, who has like one line. She played the school nurse.
Oh, yeah.
Fanny Flagg was supposed to be the principal, and then along came Eve Arden, and so she was pushed over.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but Eve Arden was just the best to work with her. Wow.
Great.
Yeah. One day I had lunch with Eve Arden and Joan Blondell, and I just liked everything about the 40s and that wonderful world of show business. Yeah, it was great.
So we have a question right here.
Yeah, it's actually a two-part question. So what was it like the premiere at Studio 54 and the premiere at the Chinese? Because those were quite events.
Well, it was so exciting to have the premiere at the Groundless Chinese Theater, because that's, of course, the cliche of the top place you could possibly have a movie premiere. And there were lines around the block. There was a huge crowd. Alan Carr had 50 cars bring us up into it. He was a real showman, our producer, Alan Carr. And he also did the event at Studio 54, where they brought 50 cars into Studio 54, and you had to take the gas out because you couldn't have cars with gas inside a building. So they had to be dragged in. But, they had Elton John show up, and Grace Jones, and it was just, Alan knew how to throw a party. You guys go to them? Have you been to his parties?
Okay. Oh yeah.
Do you remember when, do you tell us about when you saw one?
Who? Brenda or John?
John. Tell us about Alan Carr's party that you went to.
Oh, Alan Crabb's party was really a zoo. You know, they were a lot of fun. I can't tell you the story. I can't tell you the story of what he actually said when he was walking by me and my wife, and he was wearing his boo-boo. But I really can't repeat that. Yeah, and the parties were fun though. And I will say, you know, at the Chinese theater, so we were sitting there waiting for a big scene. We had only 6 songs, you know, and it was great. And here comes our big scene. And it's like, oh, there we are. Oh, where did we go? Oh, there we are. Oh, what happened to me? So for 50 years, I've been wanting to ask Randall what actually happened to us in that.
Well, I was this was my first movie, and the editor was pretty much running that particular section. And so I'm backing out and saying it wasn't my fault. I was a big fan of you guys, but you know, there's so much going on. We had so many people. And
Right,
so many
and this
cast
is what happens internally, you know, in a humongous scene like that with 40 million things going on at once.
I
So
really felt bad about that.
this is basically a joke, and it's totally understandable as to the way that amazing scene came out. And in the end result, for us, you know, we had 6 songs on, well, do you guys remember records? They were round, and they had a hole in the middle. And you know, the thing about it, they had 2 sides, so you could actually, you know, express this as it was a double album. So it had 4 sides, and we and John and I had one entire side of the biggest selling soundtrack album of all time, which is what it was, until it was finally, and for many, many years, it was that.
So did you get a lot of money for that?
We got some.
Good.
We got some.
So don't complain.
And it was just a great, yeah, we did. And that's why I'm bringing that up, because it was a great experience. The whole thing really was a great experience. And for us, you know, we weren't there for that one. We had a completely different experience from the other people on the stage who were there with each other the whole time. And I've become closer, like to you, you know, since that time.
Right.
You know, we've gotten to know each other pretty well
Yeah.
since that time. We've gotten to know each other pretty well since that time. You know, which has been lovely. But it was the biggest selling soundtrack album for good reason of all time until it was finally sunk by the Titanic.
And we had a really amazing time last August at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
The Hollywood Bowl is so much fun because everybody shows up, 17,000 people dressed in the costumes of Greece, and this time we had a surprise.
Big surprise, because we had you knew and Dee Dee knew
Yeah.
that John was going to show up. And so we're there, I think it's like 18,000, not to contradict what you said, but it was huge. So you can imagine, this is the stage that the Beatles performed on, you know, back in the day. And here we are, these little schlips of people, where the Beatles performed, and the Philharmonic performs, and Dee Dee usually hosts it, the sing-along. Have you ever seen the Grease sing-along? Can I just show hands? People have seen the sing-along? So for those who haven't seen it, it's like a follow the bouncing ball. I'm going to explain a little bit, but what happened to John was, out of the blue, he just comes walking on the stage, and we just, we were so surprised. He flew in, did it, and flew out. And the reason why you didn't tell us, because it was uncertain until the last minute.
I kept calling him and saying, are you coming? Are you coming? Oh, maybe. And he didn't let us know until just before he showed up. Yeah.
So talk about the sing-along, how you did that animation with the sing-along.
Oh, the sing-along. Well, the studio, we had gone to film festivals and projected the lyrics onto the screen. And Paramount figured out that this might really work, so they hired a whole animation company to do it. And they would do things like, to make it work for children, they had like, you know, Pussy Wagon, they put a cat there, you know.
Grease Light, the
They
song
did
Grease
some
Light.
cream, they had a whipped cream pie, you know, they did all these funny things there. So it you can get a copy of it, a sing-along version, where you can see all these funny things they stuck in, Easter eggs.
The sing-alongs are incredible. If you've never gone to one, they're incredible.
Because what happens is everybody gets a little goodie bag that has a comb. It has, or whenever we are seen combing our hair, they're instructed to take out the combs. Whenever they see
Bubbles.
the bubbles was for the beauty school dropout scene when that happens, or when Annette, may she rest, would throw the flag for the race to begin. There was a piece of cloth that you twirled around, or whenever you saw Betty Rizzo, you'd scream out, "Yo, Betty!" So that was all instructed. Everybody got this little goodie bag, and they continue to do that anytime we do big sing-alongs. It's so much fun if you get a chance to attend one.
People have the best time. I've only been to a couple of them. People just have the best time.
A lot of cosplay, people are
Is
dressed
this
up.
true that you screened it in Hawaii and the critic from the Washington Post was there and made some recommendations and you did it?
I don't remember that, but I do remember the head of the studio, Barry Diller,
Right.
was sitting in the front of the screen, in the first row, and he didn't watch the movie the whole time. He was like this, watching all the faces of the audience to see if they were liking it. And when John, you guys did the first number, Summer Nights, and he was coming down the steps, we were all coming down the steps, the audience started laughing, and Barry Diller went, oh, he thought it was a problem, and we all freaked. We didn't know if this was the first time anybody had seen it. We thought, are they laughing at it or with it? And then we noticed that they were laughing with it. Thank God. Yeah.
Okay, question right there.
You guys were talking about the animated lyrics and stuff and how
Yeah.
you got around. So, wait, there are no kids in here. I can ask the question. How do they get around? You'll know that ain't no shit. I'll be getting lots of shit. How do they get around that?
Well, even on the Broadway play, I couldn't believe it. Or when Kaniki tongue kissed Rizzo. You know, my God, they leaving that in there?
Not only that, but the F-bomb was all over the play.
Yeah.
And we smoked cigarettes as well. It was much, in fact, the original, but before it became the Broadway show, it was even raunchier.
Very raunchy.
Really
In answer to your question, we put the little hashtag and X's and things like that for, that your shit will be getting lots of kids. We covered that up. But children have been singing that for years.
And people smoked in the 50s. Everywhere.
And it's a great babysitting movie because they don't really get the sexual side of it.
You know what? Some people came, they might be here now, but 2 girls came to me yesterday and they say they have seen the movie 2,700 times.
A year?
They said a year of their life has been spent in front of the movie. Wow.
Yes.
Did you keep anything special from the film? Any special memorabilia?
I've got my jacket,
Oh, okay.
and I've got the tennis shoes, the Converse tennis shoes, and I did have the squirt gun until it was probably stolen from my home. Which is, I used to keep it in the pocket. And I had taught an improv class out of my in my living room, and I would take it out and show some people at some point. I think it might have been.
Well, my favorite niece, Karina, had a boyfriend. And he was a nice guy, he was Italian. My mother liked him. And like a schmo, I gave him my jacket. Yeah. I had a timber jacket, a leather jacket. I gave it to him. He broke up with it 2 weeks later. Yeah, I tried to kill him.
You know where he is now?
He's dead. He's dead.
Where's the jacket?
Who's got the jacket?
Might have been buried in it. I mean, they buried him in it.
No.
I don't know. Yeah. His boyfriends.
Now, and when at the beginning, the reason why I had the squirt gun is because who was our prop man? You remember the gentleman's name? So he had a huge prop truck, and he brought Kelly, Michael, and myself into the truck and said, all right, take something that would be something you'd have in the 50s. Michael took the rabbit's foot, right? And Kelly took a medallion of St. Jude, and I took the squirt gun, because I always liked squirt guns as a kid. And then that squirt gun kind of came in handy a couple of times. Again, all improvisation. When I wheeled it with a scorpion, Jeff takes out the stiletto, threateningly, and I love the squirt. So, and then, that stuff just grew out of the ether, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, to answer your question, we had a couple of things. Yeah.
I'd like to say,